and beauty is me, teaming up with Kane Park for the Sip at Kane, Cleveland Heights' first wine and beer festival, September 23rd from 2 to 8.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Pull Up Experience, y'all. We got a good one today for y'all. We come back with a bang, so we got a full panel with us today, and we got some great guests for y'all today. So I'll have them introduce themselves, since y'all get a chance to know who they are.
All right, I'm Javon of Loom Media, specialize in any visual needs.
I'm Tasha of 31 Tasha Event Management Company, here to handle all your business.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Duane Griffin, aka Mr. Group Homes. I help people start group homes not only in Cleveland, Ohio, but across the nation.
Hey everybody, my name is Ariel Baker. Everybody calls me Ari. I am a nurse fitness coach here in Cleveland. My brand is Train Ari Strong, and I'm also a step instructor.
Boom. So we got a great one for y'all tonight, y'all. So y'all already know how we do. We like to start from the beginning because we know you're watching. You're like, how do these people get started and what they do? So we're going to get started from the beginning. So I'm going to go around the room, but I want to start off like, was it always your dream to start what you're doing now, or was it a gradual thing that that came to your lap?
Honestly, it started from just a need, right? We had a clothing line, Manic Vanity. I think you interviewed Knuckles a while ago.
Knuckles, man.
So we started this clothing line in 2011, and we were having trouble getting photographers to do the content for us, right? And I'm always just like thinking, I can do it. I can do it myself.
Right,
you know what I mean? So me and Knuckles sat down, and I'm like, yo, let's just get a camera, and I'll figure it out from there. So we bought a camera. We had some girls that we knew come over, man, and we shot for like 4 hours. Pictures was terrible, right? It was trash, right? But in that, it was a learning experience. So what I did was I went on YouTube, put my camera in there, and literally went to school for myself. And I just made my notes every day, practice. And then my son was like, yo, you could really make some money doing this. You need to turn this into something else. Dope. And it just kind of went from there. You know what I mean?
That's good stuff right there.
It is good. Oh, me. Where do I start? Okay, so management. I started in management in like 2003. No intentions at all. I started working at a telemarketing company, and I thought I was getting a job in customer service. They trick you with the ads, right? And so I got a job. It ended up being telemarketing. But I was so interested in the training. Like, the trainer was, like, amazing. He's one of my closest friends to this day. But he, like, saw something in me, He was like, if you stick with this, and I believed him. I believed in what he saw in me. And so I stuck it out, and I went from telemarketing to management in maybe, like, 4 months, maybe. Yeah. And so from there, that's where my management experience started. I think that was, like, 2002, 2003. That's actually where I met Vaughn at, so we've known each other that long. And then events just was something I like to do. I enjoy seeing people, oh my God, I love the awe moments. You know what I mean? Like, so I really do enjoy that. And I'm from a big family, so we've always had like cookouts and that type of thing, and I see the labor that goes behind it, and you never get to enjoy your events, so that's one of my things that I like to tell my clients, like, let me allow you to be a guest at your own event.
That's dope.
And as far as like the management,
I told y'all to be delayed. It wasn't a good idea.
That's a slogan.
Man.
On a t-shirt. Let me help you enjoy your own event.
that's
dope.
See, that's what I got.
No, that's
And then as far as the management piece, what I do for them, they all have their own individual brands. They all have their own businesses. I focus on their back end business while they get to be out there doing their business.
That's good stuff right there. That's good.
What's up, guys? So when I started group homes, it's about 10 years ago. I was actually in education. I got a part-time job. One of my parents of a student, his mom offered me a job, and just like our community, we go get 2 and 3 jobs, thinking we're about to make more money, right? And so I started working this group home job, and I had got in trouble for getting into a physical altercation with some students in the school. So the case had went on for about 2 or 3 years, and I wound up getting my license suspended. And so with that being said, I went full time in a group home. So I started from the very bottom of the group homes, making like probably $10, $11 an hour. Moved up to house manager, and then moved up to a program manager. Worked for the state of Ohio, some day programs, and I really enjoyed giving back, and also some of the benefits of just having that free time as far as taking them out in the community and stuff. So slowly but surely, when I was at a program manager, I learned how the business really went. And one day I was on third shift, and I saw that the company was making a substantial amount of money with just the 3 guys that was in the house, and I was managing 15 caseloads. So within 5 months from there, I got my certification, and I haven't looked back since. Started my company, Griffin Care. We service adults with developmental disabilities. That's something from my childhood. Every group home I have is a result of my childhood. A family that lived across the street from me had an uncle that was autistic. He attacked me one day because he didn't have his right money. You know, instead of $1, he needed 4 quarters to put into the vending machine. So it's very structured. You know, we had that type of teaching back then. And then also, I had sober living because, you know, my family and my father and my household abused drugs. So I had sober living homes as well. So started Griffin Care. Now, then I invested into Sober University, and I also have mental health homes. And then I got out here and started training people because, you know, you go to the state website, it's not that clear of an information, or people need help because it breaks down from county to state and things of that nature. So I wanted to be that too. I was featured on a podcast called Group Home Riches, and people started hitting me up, and I'm like, yo, I need to turn this into a consulting business. And here I am, Mr. Group Homes.
Well, that's great. I feel like our stories are going to connect pretty well.
Nice.
So, like I stated, I'm a nurse. I have my master's in nurse education. But to take it back a little bit, I was always the little big sister. My sister has cerebral palsy, and my grandmother had schizophrenia. You know how we were raised in Cleveland, most of us were latchkey kids. So even at 3 years old, I was cooking, like taking care of my household because my grandmother was there as the guardian while my mom had to work. So that's where I built my foundation of learning how to expand empathy, how to learn how to take care of people, be patient with people. And so I went to school. I went to school and didn't know what I wanted to do. Majored in theology, majored in communications, and I got pregnant. So with that happening, my friend at the time was in nursing school. She said, you need a stable job. I went into nursing school just to be a follower. But as I was taking the classes, especially like the psychology and sociology classes, I'm like, I resonate with this. So went to nursing school. I did pretty well. I went here at Notre Dame and then transferred to Ursuline. Had my son right before I graduated. My son was about 2 years old. Found out he had autism. So as I'm becoming a nurse, as I'm finishing up nursing school, I'm dealing with like some of the signs and symptoms of autism. It's also expanding me into learning how to teach people who need to learn outside of how I learn. So I become a nurse, and I find that I love people and not so much the task part of nursing. So I say to myself, I want to be more of an educator. I love my people. I'm really for the lower socioeconomic population. We have a knowledge deficit. So I want to be able to teach preventative care instead of like coming to the hospital, now we got to deal with a problem that's already there. So I became a nurse, and then I was overweight. Nursing school drove me over the edge. I was overweight. I was 200 something pounds, which was out of normal for me because I ran track in high school, and decided to lose weight. And that's when I fell in love with fitness. So I said, okay, I became a personal trainer. Becoming a step instructor was gifted to me. Someone said, you're an excellent instructor. I mean, you're an excellent stepper. You should instruct. I said, I don't want to be an instructor. I don't need to be in the front. But sometimes God will bless you and put you in the callings where you don't even see yourself needing to be there. So I became an instructor, and that's on period. Yes. So I became an instructor. I'm really known for my stepping, and then I decided to put my fitness and nursing together, saying, hey, let's turn this into a holistic thing. How can I serve you outside of just being in the hospital? So that's what I do.
That's nice. Absolutely, that's nice. Sip to that.
And to add to what Ari and Duane said. I mean, all of us here, we have, at least for me, some of these relationships that are forming will bring longevity. I speak that into existence. But for me, excuse me, they have longevity already. You know what I mean? Like I've known Vaughn for like 21 years. I've known Duane.
Getting up there, baby.
Carry the one, bring down the two. But you look good. Okay.
It's on you. That's how your hair's giving business.
Thank you. But Duane, also, I've known him for a very long time. I'm always in the same circle, in the same space. But we wasn't like doing business or anything. You know, we just kind of ran in the same circle. You know, who knew that today we would be sitting here. Ari is a friend of mine. We met in the fitness community, you know. And so that has been at least like 8 years now. Like, you know, a really, really long time. And so these relationships, they just really happened organically. You know, it wasn't really like anybody was like seeking anyone. You know, it was just like we saw needs, and amongst ourselves we were capable to meet them. And ironically enough, I have a son also who has special needs. My oldest son, when I first had him, you know, they tell you not to compare to your other child. Right. And so my daughter, him and my daughter, they're like 19 months apart. And so I just saw like little things, like he wasn't like hitting the milestones that I needed him to hit, you know. And so I remember taking him to the doctor when he was like 3 months, and they told me that he had cerebral palsy. And so I was like freaking out. Of course, I was young. When we think of cerebral palsy, we think of severely disabled, you know. And so over the years, I've had him like get tested for different things, and they're like, no, he don't got that, he don't got that. We never knew. So like he's 12 now. All of the classifications, all of the testing was like, no. So he's always been classified as just having developmental delays. And it wasn't until recently, maybe in March, I took him to a holistic doctor. And she said, your son, I think your son has cerebral palsy. And I was like, what? Like, because I heard that, you know, and she was like, he has a little catch in his, you know, and so, I don't know if you guys follow me, but you'll see him like on social media, like he just does not look like what the, you know, and the lady was like, he's just high functioning, you know what I mean? And she was like, had you would have known that he had that, you would have catered. She was like, and so many people like cripple because we, you know what I mean? Like we don't let them. And so Ari, I admire because Ari's son is teenager, and Tyler is kicking it. You know what I mean? Like
we go out, baby.
And he is. You know what I mean? And I even see Duane with his clients, and he like has his clients with him, like in his own personal time. You know, and for me, my son is younger. You know, and so that was a concern of mine. Thank you, God. That was a concern of mine because in the state of Ohio, they have to, by law, pass them to the next grade. They cannot hold them back. And I'm like,
no child left behind.
He's not in 7th grade. Like, he's not there academically. Like, I know socially, he's 40. He can sit up here. He can sit up here with us. Party. He's an old soul, you know. He's very social, but academically and he don't comprehend as fast. So I know that there is a delay. But I was like, y'all, like, wait a minute, you know, like when we were going through the pandemic, I remember being on Zoom and he had speech therapy, and I was like sitting on that side of the camera, and the lady was like, okay, write this, okay, hold this up, and I'm looking at the paper like it was like scribble, you know, and so he held it up and she was like, good. I was like, wait a minute, no, that is not good, you know, and I'm like, I was not okay with it, you know.
But it's your job to advocate.
And I'm like, that is not good. Like, what do you say, you know? And so, but outside of that, like, God has given me support and friends that can help me with my son, you know. So, you know. Kind of full
every day.
And he does. And he like gassed him up all the time.
Boy, man. Miles, man. That's my dog.
And I love that. You know what I'm saying? Business is one thing, but like you said, support system. And I love that. I feel like we're in a season entrepreneurship, where in our city alone, like we can do that now. Versus before, where it was not the case before. You know what I'm saying? It was either or. You know what I'm saying? Versus now we got this not click, but you know what I'm saying? We got a support group where hey, you do this in this realm, I do this in this realm, let's get together, let's do business together.
That's what it's about.
That was kind of how me and bro got together.
That's what it's about.
Like I knew him through mutual friends, but we never really did business.
Yeah.
So once we got together with Tasha, she was like, "Yo, I got to connect the dots." So like he's like he like, let's get it, let's go right now, right? So we.
What was the first one?
Houston.
In like 3 days after
we go have breakfast, and he's like, "Yo, can you go to Houston Thursday? It's a Monday." He's like, "Can you go to Houston Thursday?" I'm like, "Check the schedule." I'm like, "Yeah." He like, "Book his flight right now." So and then me and bro hit the ground running. So it's like, and then we kind of like we on the same page on a lot of stuff, like business wise and personally. So we click. And it just makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So we do a lot of business together now, man. I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for Tasha. Even Ari, she gets photo shoots. I do all her stuff too, you know. So it's
nothing is by chance.
We keep everything in a circle, man. I think that's the major thing about what we got. It's like we work with each other well, and we keep it in the circle. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
And let me say this, because you know we not like mean girls or mean guys. Like people can sit with us. You know what I mean? Like we are definitely we not cliquey. You know, we open and we just like organic relationships, you know. Like I said, I've known them all for a really long time, and sometimes like I just was on the backside, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, I see this and we could do this better. You know, this is how this could, you know. And Duane called me one day and was like, he didn't even really stop it. Duane is, oh, you gotta love him. You know what I mean? Duane gonna be like at 2 o'clock, I want to do this. At 3 o'clock, I want to do that. You know, and he's like so all over the place. But I operate well in chaos, so it don't bother me. You know what I mean? It don't bother me at all. I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, Duane, we gotta stick to this. You know, like
it was green at 2 o'clock. Now let's go. I drive her crazy.
I'm like, okay, this is it. And sometimes I gotta make a decision for him. You know, like you know what, I'm gonna have to make.
I called Tasha at 3 in the morning in Houston. Like, Tasha, I'm about to get on my flight. I'm about to roll. Like, she's like, wait a minute. Just be on it, man. Every single time, man.
I mean, because whose manager answers their phone at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Not a soul.
You know.
Not a soul. But that's the thing about being a creative. Like, I tell her all the time. I joke all the time. Like, I create, Tasha. Like, I'm the front face. I need someone to think for me behind the scenes. Like I know how to engage your audience when it comes to instructing. I know how to teach when it comes to health and wellness. But the business aspects, how to connect the dots and link things that I don't even think about, that's what like a person is like you for, and that's what everything comes together nicely. Good.
And even on another level with Tasha, just to give her another little big
it's my birthday, y'all. Come on, buddy.
Excuse my button touch. I mean to touch your button.
So for me, it's like the small things, right? So for example, we did a fitness event at the Vote Training Center down the street or whatever.
Shout out to Philly.
And I'm just in there doing my thing. I'm filming. I'm running around, and it was just a small thing. She's like, "Bro, you need water. You need your batteries charged. You need." And those small things that when you in the midst of it and you working, you ain't thinking about. It means so much more because it's like. I wouldn't have thought to.
Stuff like
that. She be on it. Like she's on top of everything, and she'll call me the night before the event. Like, bro, you got your memory cards. You got your batteries charged, you got all your cameras and everything. Like every time we go out of town, she hit me with the checklist. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like I'm so used to doing everything on my own, so like I'm a one-man band. To have that is just refreshing. To kind of just be like, all right, I ain't gotta worry about that. You know what I mean?
I can attest to that. I can attest to that. But I'd be like, I had so many conversations with like, Tasha, I'm so used to doing it by myself. I don't really judge like that. I'm sorry. Like, I thank you so much.
Like, get on this.
Like, just let go.
Sometimes you don't know how to.
I'm sorry, Tasha. I just moved different. I'm sorry, I just moved different, Tasha. You know,
because I literally like just had a conversation with him. Like I said, at like 2 o'clock, I'm like, okay, Duane, I'm gonna call the caterer. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Oh, all right, Tasha, cool. All right. And then I call him back at like 4, and I'm like, Duane, okay. So he like, oh no, I already handled that. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, but I get it, you know, like they come from it's the transition. You know, and these two are like I had to tell Duane. Duane is the one that Both of them really. He just don't want to. But Duane is the one, and he admits it. Like, no, Tasha, I need you to stay on top of me. I need you to remind me. I need you to, because things change for him quickly. Like, I got to keep him on track.
Yeah.
This one over here is like, when I give it to him, just give it to him. He got it. You know what I'm saying? And I could tell, like, this is my brother, but this is my friend, and this is my business. You know. So I could tell when I'm getting on his nerve. I'm like, Vaughn, did you do this? I got it, man. I got it. You know? And I'm like, okay, I'm getting on his nerve. He like, yeah. I can just tell his whole tone of voice. You know what I mean? I know him, and I'll be like, okay. And then I gotta kind of say it in the nice. I'm like, hey, brother, what you doing today? Like, you know?
Y'all play it off.
Yeah, for sure.
She's good at it though. Like that, I think that's her gift. And she just know how to like move with her people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't do that.
That's
like
good.
you know, she
ain't no coming back sometimes.
Yeah, and she don't take. I think the main thing with her that I love is like she don't take it personal. Like, I can get upset about something. She'll literally call me an hour later, like, yeah, anyway, bruh. So this is what we got on calendar. You know what I'm saying?
That is definitely her.
Yeah, so you know, I love that she just don't take it personal. I can take her there. Sometimes, and I know that. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Location comes from the girl who disappeared.
Hello, and let's talk about this one right here. Okay, so Ari, right? We've had a friendship for like 7-8 years, right? And so Ari recently, maybe like 2 years now, she came from underneath another brand, and you know, branched out into doing her own thing. And I remember like just going to her class. I was in nursing school, and I was just trying to keep up my fitness. You know what I mean? I was just trying to make sure I got my cardio in. And then she was like, oh, I could just see like she was like, dang, I forgot. I mean, people was coming to her class not paying. I was like, you know, like, cause it's my friend, you know. And
I just teach, baby.
And so she was like, it was like a running joke. She would be like, manager, you like this was years ago, you know, and it was just funny. We would just say it, you know. And she ended up having a manager, like, you know, under the brand that she was with or whatever. And so I was happy for her to have that. I think I was like transitioning into like another phase of school, so I wasn't even in class as much as I was, but whenever I was with her, I always was trying to help her feel her need, you know what I mean? Because I understand, like, I mean, even myself, like when I work, I have to have an assistant, depending upon the size of the event, because the reality is you just can't do it all. Now in my mind, I think I can, but to be successful and to make sure that all I's are dotted and T's are crossed, like I need to, even if my assistant come and don't do nothing, I just need to know that if I need somebody there, they there. So, you know, she and I, it was a thing. You know, it was just like kind of like a funny thing. But then, you know, here we are today. You know.
But the fact you identify the problem, you're able to say, I can help you with that. You know what I'm saying? That's dope.
Yeah.
And even with me, she's like, I'm coming to the photo shoot today. I'm gonna direct the shoot. And I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? But then when she get on set, it make my job so much easier. She's posing the models. She fixing the hair for them, and it's all stuff that I'm usually doing. You know what I mean? So she really take the load off of me to where all I got to do is point and shoot. You know what I mean? So I just like having her around, man.
That's good stuff.
Thank you.
So let me ask y'all this, because y'all are in 4 different industries, right? Yeah. And I know someone watching this with y'all being individual industries. What do y'all feel like the biggest, not the biggest lesson y'all have learned, but I guess it's a great question. What's the biggest lesson or failure that you had that created the biggest lesson in your business overall that you learned from it and was able to excel because of it?
For me, I would say don't do too much too fast. Right?
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so when I first
to the button, like,
when I first started, I literally walked away from I had 3 great months of doing photography. I was making more in a weekend than I was making at my job in 2 weeks. Wow. So I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? And I jumped off the porch, and then like just the flows of business, stuff slowed down. And now I'm scrambling. I'm like, oh, do I need to get another job? I filled out some applications, but you said it. God always worked, or you said something along those lines. And the day I was supposed to start at Amazon, I got $1,000 in deposits. And my wife was like, yeah, bro, don't go to that job. And I listened to her, and then it's been up ever since. So it's just like, it took that process though. So like whenever I talk to my young homies that's doing photography or just starting a business stuff, I just tell them like, you know, be ready for the flows of business. Don't try to rush it, learn your craft, and then do what you need to do, but don't get discouraged when because it's gonna get slow. In any industry you in, it's always gonna slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? So that was just my learning lesson, was just to slow down sometimes and don't try to do too much too fast.
That's a great lesson.
I would have to say what he said.
Ditto.
Yes. Because for me, it was that, you know, I feel like before I actually made management at first I was just helping.
Yeah.
And my good friend over here said to me, in her exact words, are you going to start a business? Like, what you're doing, are you going to make it a business? Because I'm tired of seeing you be the unsung hero. And I was like, and she said that to me, and she just said it, you know, just being her regular Ari. But it was in my spirit, like, I just was like, dang, because so many times, like, I have showed up and saved the day, and no credit came, you know what I mean? Like, and not that you do it for credit, but you watching somebody else literally, like, ride off into the sunset as, like, the hero, and you like,
what about me?
You know,
And it's okay.
not even a thank you, you know. And so, and it wasn't on one occasion. It was, I mean, for years of my life, you know. I mean, I didn't plan weddings. I mean, you would never know. Like, just, I'm okay with being behind the scenes. Like, I don't need to be out there, you know. But sometimes God is calling you to the forefront, you know. And you can fight it as long as you want to. But if God says so, then that's just what it is, you know. And so I went ahead and I LLC'd it, and I was like, and the funny thing is that as I was no lie, I was typing in, you know, the application, and I was like 31 Tasha Event. And out of nowhere in my head, it was like, and management. I don't even know where that came from. Like, it never was, it was just events.
Right.
And so I was just like, okay, you know, I just roll with it, you know. And so doing the event, I had another young lady, and I was just doing my thing. And she was there, and she was like, you know, I like how I want to work with you. Yeah. And that was my first client, you know. And then my brother was like, hey, I could use your help doing XYZ. I was like, okay. And then literally, like, I think we was having a meeting, and then Duane called me, like, hey, Tasha, I need to talk to you, know. And it was like, and so I was,
that was crazy.
I had the same moment that he had. I was like, oh, it's up, oh, it's on, you know what I'm saying? But then it kind of slowed down, you know. And if we can be honest and transparent, I lost a client. I didn't lose her. We just agreed to part ways, you know. And then and we still good, you know. But we parted ways, and then my brother, he and I had to have a not hard conversation, but conversation nonetheless. You know what I mean? And just the way we was doing business, you know what I mean, it just was not working, you know. And so we was experiencing I felt like I was experiencing some pushback because he was not letting go, you know. And then he felt like he wasn't getting what he needed, and I'm like, but you won't let go, you know what I'm saying? Like, you won't allow me to, you know what I'm saying? And so I felt like things were slowing down, and I was like, I'm about to just get a job, because I went to nursing school, and I'm like, all right, like, when did you go, you know? And so I still can pick up I don't have a job in nursing like full time, but I still pick up assignments when I need to, or if it makes sense, you know, whatever. But it's not like priority to me. And if I could just be honest, I agree with what Ari said. It's not that I love the actual nursing. I love the people. You know what I mean? So it's easy for me to be a nurse. I'm a servant and a steward at heart. You know what I mean? So it's easy for me to give and show love and compassion. Like, that's easy for me. So, but like I said, business I felt like was slowing. I mean, my phone was ringing crazy. I'm like, I'm about to have to get a building. I'm like, this is crazy, you know. But it was, you know. And so I'm like, then things started kind of trying to slow down a little bit, you know. But I say this 1,000%: transparency, honesty, hard. We didn't have hard conversations. You know what I mean? And the love and respect that we have for each other personally and our individual businesses allow us to still be here right now.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Like the glows and grows, we have meetings, important. That's you know what I mean? Like, it's necessary, because even in person,
conversation,
it's necessary. So those are things, you know, for me.
And she's so dope. Even when we had the conversation, she's like, well, I hear you, but I'm still going to do the work for you, and we'll work it out later. Like, you know what I'm saying? We'll figure it out, but we're going to still get this done. And I appreciate her for that. So, like, even just before we had a meeting, I double booked for this weekend we got coming up. So I told her, like, yeah, I'm going to need you to handle this for me. You got to tell this client I ain't going to be able to get to him this week. And she was like, no problem. You know what I mean? It wasn't even a question. So it's like, oh man, yeah, bro.
Oh, and that's one of the things that he does.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm a double booker.
He gonna double
Oh,
book.
Bring me to your own. I mean, like, wait a minute.
That's the opposite of that.
But if you were following the proper protocol and going through management,
Yeah, I wouldn't have
then
those
you would
issues.
not. I mean, so Philly, you interviewed Philly.
Yeah.
Okay, so one day he's like, yeah, I gotta film for Philly on Wednesday. Da, 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 da. And I was like, what Wednesday? And he like, this Wednesday. And I'm like, you're gonna be out of town with your wife? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was supposed to
and
be
he was
right.
like, he's like, you know, and Philly the homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he like, could you tell him? You know what I'm
Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing, dog.
But if he would have followed,
Yeah.
and Philly too, if he would have followed the proper protocol to booking, then I would have been able to tell him.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But because it's that thing, you know, we all in the same community, you know,
Yeah.
everybody just kind of, but you have people in place for reasons.
Yeah.
You know,
So that was definitely a lesson learned on that one.
No, that lesson is
Don't
a
forget to
important
make
lesson.
that call to him.
got it. Gotcha.
Yep.
On me, lessons, don't expand too fast.
Sorry,
I mean, it kind of mirrored what Vaughn said, what Tasha said. Man, I was riding a van from the auction to get and buying whatever I wanted to buy. And sometimes when you see that money, you keep it to yourself. So my caseloads and stuff was expanding, my money was expanding, but I didn't hire. So instead of
in healthcare, I'm like,
so instead of taking in 500,000, to be exact, 1.3 million, you should hire. You know what I'm saying, and take in 350 to hire. You know, compliance, HR, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So don't expand too fast if you're not ready for that growth.
Ooh.
You don't have the people in position. You know, money is cool, but sustainability and scaling up the right way, that's how you get to the long haul.
That's all bar right there.
So I've seen a lot of different things where they froze my numbers, and just because I didn't have those people in place for compliance and audits and things of that nature. I always had accounting in place, but you know, as you start to continue to get caseloads, you need people to watch over them.
Yeah.
The houses, you need people to monitor the house managers. You know what I'm saying? You need people to monitor the people that's monitoring the house managers. So you're talking about operations, you're talking about quality assurance people that's checking on your paperwork, somebody that's wrapping around doing your HR. All right, Vaughn was cool when he first came in, but now he didn't call a drunk driving case. So how do we catch that? And he's still serving this community. You see what I'm saying? So you got to hire, you know, a lot of different people when it comes to that group home. You know, what's the saying about the responsibility to who receive much required. I ain't returned back to the required. I was getting that money. So, you know, I learned the hard way. I'm here to, you know, speak about it. And another thing, I kind of spread my money out a lot more too now. So I have a bingo hall. I have my consulting business. I have a sober living home. I have mental health homes. I have developmental disabilities, and I'm looking to build off of that. You know, ain't no limit. So spread that money, man. Once you start getting it, man. I enjoy sex, but at the same time, I'm trying to. Yeah, it's a little treat. You know, everything I thought I wanted 3 times over already, but that's whack.
It's so
Yeah, so it's super overrated. So now, you know what I'm saying, I'm spreading the money where I'm able to see multiple businesses, and I understand, you know, the psychology of money a lot better now.
That's good. That's good.
Let's see. My biggest lesson. Where the camera at, child? My biggest lesson is been learning, and I'm still in this lesson, been learning to pour into yourself as much as you pour into other people. I'm telling you, if you're a person you're a natural giver and you're an entrepreneur, you're going to struggle. You just are. People in this world are takers. And if you don't mind giving, they will take.
Come on, somebody.
They will take and take and take. And you will keep giving and giving and giving because it's easy for you. But when you become an entrepreneur, you have to learn that, well, one, you can't make no money if you keep giving, giving, giving. I've been in so many positions. I've been in so many positions where like you said, when you manage people or you do events and you like that smile, I get high off that smile I put on people's faces. So when people ask me for something, even if my time is compromised, my energy is compromised, because I'm a night shift nurse. So I don't have a lot of time and I teach throughout the week. If I say yes and I see that smile, I'll find a way to configure my schedule and then be left feeling empty because they didn't pour into me the same way I poured into them. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur and you're going to, be a person who wants to build your own business, you better go ahead and take that season of selfishness and be prepared for what comes with that season of selfishness, because people are used to you giving.
That's right.
People are used to you giving, and when you decide not to give as much or to become a taker for that moment, then they're going to say you're this and you're that. It doesn't matter how much you gave to them. It doesn't matter how much you showed up for them. You are now the bad person. But you're going to have to be that person. You're going to have your season of being that bad person if you want to expand. And that's my biggest lesson.
True. I've been through that so much. That's true, man.
You'll be the enemy. You'll be like, I was there for you.
Hey, shout out to everybody's responses.
No, that's real talk, though. And you know what I did, though? I was dealing with those type of situations with my clients and people that was close to me that like they doing business, and I'm like, I help you, I'll do this. And they take, and then you say, hey, look, you know what, bro? I'm gonna have to take a step back and kind of focus on my thing. And it's like, oh, bro, some bull. He ain't rocking like he used to. It's like, but I will say this: once I got rid of those people, through the roof.
Yes.
So it's like sometimes you just gotta trim the fat. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that, Vaughn, because when I say send an invoice, that's what I mean.
And I mean it. Pray face.
I got one outstanding one I gotta take care of right now. But listen, when I say send an invoice, that's what I mean, man. We're not looking for no discounts. I'm not looking for excuse me, I'm about to let it go. A code or nothing like that. I told this young lady right here. I said, well, it's gonna cost you more. Baby girl, I came here to spend money. I ain't come here to barter with you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we got to get that through
It's our people who do that.
our community.
Bro, can I share what you told me during the conference weekend? Can I share?
For sure.
So he tell me, this my guy, so I wasn't, I don't tax my people, right? So after he paid all this, I sent him the invoice and he said, yeah, you know what, that's cool, but we got to pay you more than that. You worth more than that, bro. He's like, I understand that, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I understand you looking out, but I'm going to pay you more than that.
That's good, right?
You know what I mean? And I've never had a client, and I've been doing this for almost 8 years now. I've never had one client say that to me. Ever. You know what I'm saying? So for this guy, whenever he call, I'm going to make it happen. It ain't even a question.
Ain't a question.
But I got to reschedule something. It's going to happen.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there, man.
That's good.
Hey,
It's a good therapy session. I like this.
So no, I have a question for y'all, because I feel like once again, y'all are in 40th industry, but entrepreneurship is universal. That's entrepreneurship is universal.
Absolutely.
But the principles still stay the same. What do y'all feel like is the biggest misconceptions with being an entrepreneur that people don't understand?
Oh, I got one. That is easy. That's the thing. Like people will get in it. I can only speak from a photography and videography perspective, right? I have a younger guy that's up under me. I love him to death. But when he got in this industry, he saw the money that I was making and some of the other photographers, and these is like some of the who's, the Stephen Midgets, the Drico Lamars, right? Yeah. So he's seeing what these guys are making in a way we, and how we move around, and he's trying to skip the process. And I'm just like, listen, it's gonna come to you, bro, but perfect your craft. You can't charge a person $500 for a photo shoot and you're doing a $100 job. It don't make sense. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not easy. You gotta put the work in. You know what I mean? You gotta put 10,000 hours into the gym to be great. And he ain't put that 10,000 in. But he want the benefits like he did. And I think that's the biggest misconception. Is like you're gonna get into it and it's just gonna be like, Nah, bro. It don't work like that. You got to put the work in. You know what I mean?
That's good stuff right
That
there.
is good.
I think that when it's your passion, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if I want to say failures, but you plan for something and it don't go according. When it's your passion, it don't feel as bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it keep you in it. You know. So recently, two things I'll say. Years ago, I trained with Philly, and I remember being at the gym, and there was another trainer there, another young lady, and my cousin was like, "Oh, I want to train. You know, I want to train at the gym. I want to train with Philly, but he got a waiting list. I'm gonna try this other young lady." And so she came back to me and was like, she told me $500 a month, and I was like, what?
You should get on that waiting list then, huh?
Hello? I was like, whoa, because she felt like Philly prices was high, and I'm like, how are you charging more than the owner? But she fizzled out so fast. You know what I mean? Like you said, like it was the process. You know what I mean? I'm like, how are you charging more than the owner? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
With no results.
with no results.
Yeah, no resume.
I need
You know
that.
what I mean? Like, that's the crazy
I'm
part.
like, wow. And then on the flip side of that, recently, you know, although I have the experience, I guess you might not, like legally, right? My business is relatively new. Although I've been doing it for a while, it's new, right? And so I'm out here, I'm moving around, you know, in the city, doing whatever I do. And I had a young lady. I gotta shout her out. Samia, where the camera at? Samia's down there, my girl. Okay. She and I have done business together a few times, and so she contacted me and was like, "Hey, are you going to the Pink and work on this?" And I was like, "No, I mean, I might go. I haven't got a ticket yet. I don't know. I was on the fence." And she was like, "You know, I want to invite you as my special VIP guest. I'm a sponsor, and I want to have you as my guest." Now, this is somebody that is of the same industry, right? She blessed my whole heart, right? Because it's that crab in the barrel type of thing. Like, oh, I can't bring you to the table because I think you're gonna take some money out of my pocket or some food out of my mouth. You know what I mean? And she was like, I want to bring you here with me. Yeah. I mean, we were sitting in VIP. My legs was crossed. I was sitting up there with the mayor. Okay. And I was like, okay. You know, but no, she extended the invitation, which says so much about her as an individual and business. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't scared for me to be there. You know, she was like, bring your business card. She's like, Tasha, you need to be in the room. You a socialite. You need to be amongst. Like she was so, and it's people like that. And then next thing you know, we see tons and tons of pictures of her with Tabitha Brown. You know what I mean? Like my godmom always told me, we give because we bless, and we bless because we give. You know what I mean? And she sorry, I got that stuck in. I haven't heard that. And that is real. You know what I mean? Like she extended the invitation, and so many more doors have opened up for her, and I pray that they continue to open for her. You know what I mean? Because I was there, and I was in a room of people, and people was like, 31 Tasha, and I was like, me? Like I had no clue. I'm like, but it just show you like people are always watching.
Facts.
You know, I'm like, how do these people know me? You know, I'm looking at them like they up here and they know my name. You know, and for me, I was really blessed. You know what I mean? Like the messages, it was very. You guys was there. The messages across the board was very consistent. Unity, collaboration. You know what I mean? Supporting each other. Like it was just a consistent message. It was a really good time. But I was so happy to be in a room.
And she called me from there going crazy. Like, man, you should have been here. You should have been here, bro.
And next time we will.
I was like, make sure next year
the whole team will be there. Yeah.
All right. I think the biggest misconception of business is, like the team said, just put in that groundwork. A lot of people reach out to me, got a couple dollars, and they'll say, hey, I get a house, man, can we partner up? No, we can't partner up because that doesn't exclude you from the third shifts I work, the first shifts, not being able to take my kids to school, the connections I made talking to the case managers, the relationships I built through the community, volunteering, the donations I spent. You can't skip that. So with that being said, 50K ain't moving me, 100K ain't moving me. You know what I'm saying? That's not moving me. the process moves me.
Yeah.
The process about me giving back in the history that I have. You can't replace my relationships that I built throughout the community. So no, I've never seen somebody get on a plane when it was off the ground. This plane off the ground, baby.
True. I was like,
you gotta watch out for the pocket watchers and the people that that jump on top of your success because of the material things they see instead of the work that you really put in. So you gotta be, so it's not no easy process from photography to event management to transitioning to your step classes and being the moms that you both are. It's no skipping process to no way, and
Can't sell your home and tired of carrying that load? Drop the house. Gutter Properties will buy your house as is with offers up to $300,000. Need serious repairs, liens, taxes, or judgments? We'll work through your unique situation to get that house off your back. During your free, no-obligation appraisal, we maintain social distancing and take every precaution to ensure your experience is safe. Drop the house. Gutter Properties. Call us or visit gutterproperties.com today.
Process is what the lottery and those a lot of those people pass away because the preparation before that dollar comes, before any amount comes. I always ask people this when I'm consulting them. Are you prepared to go 90 days without getting paid from the state and you able to keep your mind and still take care of these individuals? And a lot of people not. Are you able to take care of your employees this way? And a lot of people not. So they got some more soul searching to do, some more digging to the information, some more research on business as an overall, because it's gonna happen, and you got to be ready for it when it happens. So that's the biggest thing that I look at when I think about my business and what people think it is, because it ain't that.
That's good stuff right there.
Let's see, for me, my biggest lesson, misconception in relation to being an entrepreneur is that time. When you work a 9 to 5, or for me it was 312s, you're complaining like, oh my God, I hate working for this person, da 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 da. I get it. When you're an entrepreneur, baby, there is no 9 to 5.
Oh yeah.
It's 24/7, period. Before I had the money to be able to, even think about looking at management, I'm social media marketing, I'm the instructor, I'm managing my YouTube page, I'm still working as a nurse, I'm still working as a mom, I'm still the person that has to go in the public and bring people in. And when I was a personal trainer, a psychologist, a personal trainer, all these things that are encompassed in everything that's in your business, you're no longer 9 to 5. I would wake up at 6 a.m., make a flyer for my company. It would take 2 hours because you want it to be right. Then you wake up and then it's 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You still doing something, messaging somebody, hey, I want to link up and collab with you. Hey, I want to do an event with you. Hey, have you seen my page yet? Hey, have you subscribed to my YouTube page? All these things, this is not a game. You leave that job at least at 5, you get to be done. If you truly want to be.
Right.
When you're an entrepreneur, you're supposed to be your passion. There's no such thing as being done. Now, you do have to set boundaries to keep yourself from becoming insane, losing your mind. But if you're really in this, it's a 24/7 thing. So get ready if that's what you really want to do.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's no bar.
No days off.
No days off.
Not one. Not one.
And that question, it ties into all of us, because all of us are in the fitness community and athlete. Duane football, Ari track.
I'm just in the gym.
Don't put me in that. But not put me in that. Not put me in that fitness community, man.
We're gonna go to the track now. So you fast.
How many times you check in this week?
Oh, we gonna have to do 100 real quick then.
There you go.
Back in the day.
I don't listen to no whistles. Nobody tell me to get on the line.
Trauma, you hear the whistle,
It's trauma. Yeah, it is. Didn't I tell you that?
Yeah.
I tell you it's trauma, man.
When I hear something clap, I be like when I'm in the blocks. No,
I played on college level too, so I don't hear that stuff no more. I'm tired.
They
I don't even talk about no more.
He called me on his way here. He like, I showed him the food I was cooking at home. He's like, come on, man. I'm trying to just let him get it in.
Man, what is that? Macedonia?
He in the fitness community. We dragging him back in there. We dragging him back in there.
And shout out to Tasha for even getting me started on the workout side, because I wasn't even on that. I ain't gonna lie. She asked me for years, y'all. I mean, years. Come train. And then during COVID, we was having these daily hangouts at her house. And the guy that is now my trainer was there hanging out with us. And he was like, yo, just come to the gym. I'll give you a couple of months for free. And I'm like, oh, free? Tearing down free.
Now look at
I'm
free.
down
It is for me.
pounds.
That's what's up.
They got me training 5 days. My hoochie daddy's legs off for something. What they talking about?
Hey, man, come on, man.
See this, man.
I'm trying to join that game. I'm trying to save lives around here.
And they do.
But to go back to what everybody said, the fitness journey, the journey. You know what I mean? Like the process.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't just get from people. Be like, how long did it take? You know, like I can't really answer that question for you. Like I've been working out for a long time.
Yeah.
It's highs and lows
Right,
in the fitness journey. You know what I mean? And it's the same as business. You know. But when you committed to it,
finish.
You committed to it. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. We call ourselves weekend warriors. You know, because we gonna hang out and have a good time. You know, but the accountability amongst all of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no, you doing so much.
Yeah, bro. We was on. I don't know what trip we was on. We was at Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
We was at Atlanta. Like, bro, I need to get in that group, man. I need to get in that group.
Yeah.
I was like, man. He was like, man. You know, we gotta pay and all that stuff. Man, I need that, bro.
Yeah.
And it's been a couple times I done paid almost $1,000
in.
In this group that you have to check in. And so, you know what I'm saying, it started making me accountable. I gotta go to the gym. Yeah. I gotta walk every single day.
That's why you charge your price.
Exactly.
That's why you charge your price, because they'll be held accountable.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm with that. We was at Mayfield High School, man. Something I struggled with that I've never struggled with in my career as far as running some bleachers. I struggled, y'all, but guess what? I finished and I stayed in my lane. I didn't go over it.
Yep.
I stayed in my lane. Yep. I locked in and I told myself I'm gonna finish. I don't care if Tasha outlap me. I don't care. I'm about to finish this. I'm about to finish this thing. And then so that's the attitude you gotta have. Stand in your own lane and finish, and that's business.
Because as long as you get there.
Somebody else getting money right now. Your season will come. It's ups and downs. It's the laws of the universe, y'all. If we lay down, we're gonna get up. If we get up, we're gonna lay down. It's the laws of the universe, and when people gotta understand that, you're gonna be straight, man. You gotta ride that wave, baby.
Yes, sir.
when you in the, like for us all sitting right here right now, you know what I mean? And I could look at you and be like, oh, you know, you up here and you doing so well, and you know this one doing, you know, and sometimes people sit at that same table and instead of showing love or, you know, happy for you genuinely, you know, it shows envy and, you know, jealousy and not knowing, like, I'm at the table with you, like God is in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like
so it's real close to
in the
you.
neighborhood, like my turn is coming. Like he poured that wine, like okay, I'm just waiting for my cup to be filled. Like, you know, so if you
I just gotta get in there.
I just gotta wait my turn.
I just gotta get in there. Once they know me, it's fine. I just gotta get in there.
Yes, just put you in the room. You know, you just gotta wait your turn.
Shout out to the pull-up experience,
man. Oh no, appreciate y'all, man.
Church on this Sunday.
And it's so funny because I hate them up because, and that's another thing too, my commitment to them. You know, personally and in business, I want to turn them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they out there doing their thing, and I'm like.
Now listen, Tasha, I'm like, oh, you definitely don't bet, no.
Yeah, you know, and I'm trying to contact him for them. I'm like, hey, you know, what is the criteria to get my clients on your show? I'm all professional and stuff. He's like, actually, we was gonna contact you. We wanted to put you on the show, and I'm like, yeah, but thank you. And I went right back to my clients because that was my sole purpose in contacting him. And he's like, why don't I bring all y'all on there? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and look at God, right?
That's why I love podcasting, man, because like I love having a platform we can have conversations like this with dope people like this, and like I said, and this is I love it. I love this. This is what I love doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we put the hours in, put the episodes in, but we were doing this for free. You know what I'm saying? And now God has blessed us though. So thank y'all for coming on.
Thanks for
Thanks for
having
having us.
A quick random comment. Can we shout out to 2U Wines?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gone.
And I don't even like real wine.
Can we purchase like 2 or 3 more bottles? I'll leave the cash here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. So which y'all? Let's pick out 3 y'all as a team.
Sangria for sure.
Sangria for sure.
Get the
Very
sangria.
good.
What would you like,
What
man?
did I have? The Marlowe?
Yeah,
The blueberry
the blueberry
Marlowe?
Merlot.
I like that.
I like that one as well. And ma'am, anybody else?
Well, I've been trying to
I didn't even
do
have
her
none.
summer flavors. She's got like 3 of them, I think,
What's
like
the summer
pear,
flavor?
strawberry,
Pineapple.
Yeah, peach
Yes,
Riesling.
it's a good
Yeah.
pineapple.
It's a peach Riesling she got in there.
I plan on
Look,
trying it all out of the way.
we go outside, be real cute.
Yeah. So look, so the sangria, the peach Riesling, and the blackberry Marlowe. Let's get it. Shout out to 2U Wines. Let's get it.
Double shout because September 23rd, guys. First Black Beer and Wine Festival at Kane Park, September 23rd.
Yeah.
From 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you guys look to be a vendor, please sign up. But please check it out. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be food. It's going to be music. It's going to be great alcohol, wines and beers. So
Health and wellness too.
yeah, awesome. Yep. So I got a question for y'all. So this, I feel like this is number one question because I know our audience is comprised of people who are entrepreneurs for 5 minutes or 50 years or whatnot. My thing is, we all need motivation. What keeps y'all going in y'all business? Because I feel like that we all need that. You know what I'm saying?
For me, it's just always trying to get to the next level. I just strive to obtain something that really ain't attainable. You know what I mean? So
I know. I was like, I think I just gonna mark y'all. But
yeah, like I'm driven by it, man. I just every day I wake up and I'm thinking, how can I make my business better? How can I elevate? And I think that's what drives me the most. You know what I mean? It's just always want to be better than I was the day before.
That's good stuff right there. Nice.
yeah.
For me, I would have to say my children. My children. So again, like well, this might have been before, but I'm an only child, and so I have 3 children, and I'm always, my mother is deceased, their dad is absent. Thank you. And so it's really me and them. I mean, I have my family and my friends, you know, but it's really me and my kids, and so I'm just always trying to make sure, like I know what it was like for me when my mom left me, and so I'm always trying to make sure like that they good, you know, and when I say good, I mean good, you know, and so my business, I take care of them. You know what I mean? So sometimes on my end, personally, I might be falling short. They might not know, but I'm like, dang, I missed my nail appointment. Dang, I ain't make it to, you know. But when it comes to them, everything else stops. Like I'm showing, you know, it's nothing gonna be. And so I think again, like I said before, like I'm just a true servant and steward at heart. Like I'm a nurturer. Like it's just who God made me. So
That's good stuff right there.
Absolutely. Like she just said, my why. The feelings that I felt in the past about, you know, negative bank accounts, repo cards, I'll never feel that feeling ever again in my life. So with that being said, the freedom that I've been able to enjoy personally, and then also be able to spread amongst my peers and my family and friends, it's the ultimate feeling to me. So that's what I'm on. That's what that keeps me going every single day. My why, being able to book to go to Cancun with my whole family 2 days before is crazy to me, but now it's starting to be the norm, and now I'm inviting people that has like-minded special features like I have to come inside, because other communities are not doing nothing special. We're just paying attention to the wrong information, and the information is out there. Information without application is nothing. So.
Well, I'm gonna say something a little weird outside of my family and friends. Who has motivated me in the past? Strangers. Again, as an entrepreneur, you step out on that limb and you think family and friends gonna be the ones that support you, baby, it's a no. And your heart gonna break. That's okay. Strangers have blessed me in the most outrageous ways in my life. There's been times where I was booked to go do a show somewhere and I get paid on the back end. 2 days before an event, Utah, didn't have no plane ticket. Out of nowhere, when it's somebody I never met in my life who followed me on YouTube and do my classes, cash at me $350. I was able to book my plane to get to Utah and do the show. So when I say that strangers will be the reason, like, it be times where I'm like, man, I don't need this because everybody has turned their back on you. You feel so low. I can just go ahead and do this and this and this, especially if you have a different set of skills. You have more than one skill set. I can go do this and this and this. I believe that God literally puts angels and people in your life out of nowhere and will talk to you exactly when you need to hear. At times where I be like, man, I'm about to call him and tell him I'm not doing no more classes. A person out of nowhere, I see what you're doing. I wanted to commit suicide the other day and your fitness class kept me going. And you be like, what? And then you keep going. So I thank all the strangers, the people I've never met in person who I feel like I know you for real.
That's good.
Because you message me every day and let me know that I'm worthy when I don't feel worthy. I'm grateful. So those are the people who keep me going.
No, that's a good one. That's good stuff right there. So I know me and Tasha talked about it off camera, but I wanted to ask everyone individually about this very question about Cleveland. We are residents of Cleveland, probably born and raised. Cleveland's not known for collaboration.
Get the bottle.
Oh yeah, I gotta get this bottle. Yeah. You know what? I'm grab real quick. But as a question, what do y'all feel we could do as a city to help change a narrative of us not being collaborative as a community? Because, like I said, Cleveland doesn't have that stigma. I mean, it has a stigma of not collaborating. But now, I feel like where we are now, as y'all can see, we're doing it right now.
Right.
This is a perfect example of it.
I'll say this, man, and this is from my personal experience.
I'm bad.
Nah, you good, bro. You good. Even like the studio that I work out of now, it's like 7 or 8 different photographers that rent this space together, right? And we had days where all 9 or 10 of us are shooting at the same time, and it's like, we know how to work around each other now and kind of like. Go ahead, pull that up.
Oh yeah. I'm hitting with the bottle.
My bad, y'all.
What you say her name was? Nakia, sweetheart, I don't even drink wine. Okay, hello.
She doing her thing.
She doing her thing.
This right here.
Shout out to you.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna get about 2 of these to go. These coming to the
John
party.
Taylor.
I'm bringing these to the party, man.
Oh yeah, that's real.
It's my birthday, y'all.
It ain't your birthday.
Happy birthday coming up.
Thank you.
My fellow Cancer.
Thank you.
I love
Cancer.
Happy birthday.
So lovely.
Hey,
So lovely.
Why you hating so hard on my
Tasha Mack,
birthday?
it ain't your birthday.
Tasha Mack.
It's a
Tasha Mack, right?
Thank you very much.
It's almost here.
Thank you.
It's almost here. That's right.
Cancer season.
Yeah.
Steve?
I guess I get skipped. Okay.
No, my bad. This is sangria though.
That's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I need something to
This is why I don't worry about it. 14%. Like if y'all ain't drinking, it's gonna creep up on you. It's gonna creep up on you real quick.
When you give it all, you be like,
okay, you thought you would.
This turned to drink chance real quick.
Yeah,
Real quick. That's why I'll limit it to 1 glass. You know.
Alright, so you should have led with the 14.
Y'all
Should have led with that.
My bad.
Y'all got a sponsorship package?
You know what? Working on it. We talk after work. Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah. Don't talk about that.
What was the question about the collab?
Yeah. What do you think we can do to change that stigma in our city?
So like I was saying, from my personal experience, just working at the studio that I'm at, it's all collaboration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's 8 or 9, or 7 or 8 of us. We all got our own individual businesses, but we work together, right? And I have been seeing more of this going on in the city. That's why I feel like we had a space now in Cleveland where we can kind of break that mold of how everybody used to just kind of be like, I'm doing this, and I want to be better than you. And it's like, from my perspective, I think working together, we gonna get more money together. Like, all right, you might be a dope videographer, I might be a dope photographer. So if I'm booking a wedding for $4,000, you get $2,000, I get $2,000, and I'm gonna throw you the layup every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't do it all. So it's like
yeah.
I feel like the collab thing is what's really gonna break Cleveland out of that shell of just being where we've been for the past 30, 40 years. It's just one guy that's the guy,
Yeah.
and everybody else hating on him, and it's like, man, we can't be like that. And even with our music scene, I'm gonna just tap on that. You see more collaboration, and now people starting to kind of work together more.
Yeah.
And we never had that in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a good space now. I think it's getting to that point, but it's still work to be done. You know what I mean?
That's good.
I think that if people would just allow themselves to be transparent, and lay down pride and egos, you know what I mean? I think we can all get further ahead.
Yeah.
Including myself, you know. I'm a very independent person, not just in business, but personally also. And it's really hard for me to ask for help. But I've been learning and trying to be more comfortable in saying, like, hey, I need some help. You know? And somebody said to me before, if you don't need help, then your vision not big enough. You know? I'm like, you know, I'm like,
Who told you that?
I made it up. But, you know, I received that, and I'm like, and the reality is, even, shout out again to my girl Samia, she told me that, she was like, Tasha, you need a team. You know what I mean? She was like, you need a team, because Samia, I don't know if y'all know who she is, but she do big business.
What are you
in the
saying, Tamia or
Samia?
Samia, okay.
Zellner.
Sorry about that, Samia.
Google her.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yes,
No,
ma'am.
but
I'm putting some respect.
she does. She up there, okay? And so she told me, she was just like, you need help. You know, she was like, your vision, like you got it. You know, you're a socialite. I love working with people like you. You know, she was like, but I could just tell, like, you need a team of people to support you. You know, and I was like, you know, telling her that the times that I have asked for help, I feel like they failed me. You know, and I'm very big on presentation. Like, things might be falling apart back here, but they not gonna see it.
Right.
And that's I experienced that before. You know, and sometimes it don't matter. Like, this is your event. I mean, this is your podcast, and no matter what we do, at the end of it, the pull up. It was on the pull up experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take the fall for it, and so I feel like I've experienced that. And so I think that if we all allow ourselves to be transparent, but everybody want to be big boss, and you know what I'm saying? Everybody, we winning when we could really be winning. You know what I mean? If you just that, like what Ron said, I feel like we stronger together. You know?
Yeah, sure.
What is the guy? Hill Harper.
Yeah.
When he did the his presentation at the thing, and he was just like, you know, if I just push him like this, you know, like how the guy, he didn't move, but like when I leaned on him, like how they moved together, and it was so much easier, and I believe that wholeheartedly, you know, like stronger together.
That's good stuff right there.
Nice. I think the identity of Cleveland, people say it's Cleveland, but I think it probably mirrors the African American community. One, it may have some roots as far as what happened on the plantations, you know, and then two, sometimes when people say that, you know, don't nobody want to collaborate, they done reached out to the pull-up experience, and that's it.
Right.
You ain't even run through the numbers, you ain't even run through the trials. Because I've seen it from both sides, where, you know, somebody may look at me as a competitor, at the same time somebody look at me as an ally, somebody they can really mess with. So how many people did you really reach out to come up with that conclusion? Or is it our negative mind states that allowed us to think like that, like, man, ain't nobody trying to hook up with me? But no, they're not. You ain't come up to many people.
Right.
You didn't reach out to too many people. You feel me? So I don't think that's a Cleveland thing. I think that's a community thing. I think that's a community thing. That's my personal opinion. It ain't stamped or nothing like that. But, you know, being in business and being around a couple people, it wasn't hard. And when you run through the numbers, the vibe is the vibe. I'm sitting in the booth saying, yo, book his ticket for 2 days later to go to Houston. I reach out to her. I didn't reach out to you for daycare before. The vibe is the vibe. When you come across good people, it just won't happen.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So are you running through them numbers to come up with that analogy?
That's good.
And I tend to question that sometimes about the crabs in the barrel.
For sure.
That's good right there.
That's actually real good.
I think I don't have any experience outside of Cleveland. I've lived here my whole life. So, and then, you know, I've traveled other places, but I think it's that fixation on that crown that you don't want to let go. Like, I was talking about it the other day, it's psychology behind this. When you've been behind your whole life and you've been number 2 or 3 your whole life, when you're finally number 1, you don't want to let that go. So then you'll find, so when someone is on the rise and you perceive them as competition, you'll do whatever you need to do to keep them down, because that trauma of being number 2, 3, 4, or 5 is still in your spirit. And I just got one little story. I was dealing with somebody who you would consider number 1, and I had just entered into the field of stepping, and I was asking all these questions like, well, where can I get steps from? And I need someone to mix my music, and I need a place like this and this and this. And this person said, well, you're going to have to find all that out yourself, because I did. And I told myself I would never do that.
Yeah.
That I would, well, first of all, you put me in this position.
Right.
You blessed me with it, so thank you. But if we have that mindset of, maybe if we all work together, we can elevate together at the same time, instead of I just need to be the only one at the top, and I'm good with you as long as you're underneath me. Then we would exceed more. So paying it forward is a big thing for me. That's because when it don't gotta be lonely at the top if you don't want it to be. Like, I'm bringing all my people with me. I'm bringing all my people with me, because I know what depression and anxiety and being alone feels like. And when I'm wealthy, I don't expect to have that, because when I say if you bless me, I'm blessing you, and you were there for me, I'm gonna be there for you, and I mean that.
You know what? That's so real. She said when I first started photography, I was on Instagram just reaching out to like all the photographers that I looked up to in the business, and I'm like, yo, what do you suggest I do to, as far as equipment, or how do you get your pictures to look like this? And they literally was like, yeah, nah, bro, figure it out on your own. Go to YouTube. And I ran into that dozens of times, to the point where I'm like, you know what, bet, I got you. And that fueled me though. And now those same people, they still where they was at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all good, and I understand what she's saying completely on that aspect, because I went through that so much when I first started. Like, people, they kind of look at you as a threat, and it's like, listen, bro, I don't want your clients. It's millions of people out here, man. We can all get money, and ain't anybody step on nobody's toes. And I share clients. I don't mind. Sure. Like, I don't.
And it kind of gives you trauma.
They come book with me when they need me, and it's all good. Like, I ain't tripping, but a lot of people do see you as a threat when you start coming up, or when they feel like you asking those intrusive questions. But I'm just trying to get the game. I'm just trying to be better at my craft. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get that for sure. All right, you hit the nail on the head.
And then you kind of get scared to ask anybody else for help ever again, because you're like, to the point where I started selling clothes, I was like, do you mind sharing your distributor with me? And the girl was like, girl, of course. And I was like, it's because you kind of, especially when you're very novice in something, that's your first impression of how the business goes, so you assume everybody's gonna be like that. So
but also too, it put me in a position so where when the up and comers reach out to me now, I greet them with open arms. Come to my studio. Let me come sit in on the session. Let me see your camera. I'll show you my settings. I'll show you how to edit. I'll show. Like, I don't hide the information. You know what I mean? Because I ran into so many brick walls when I first started. I'm like, I never do nobody like that. You know what I mean?
That's right there. It's not a question for y'all. So we asked the question of all our guests. Legacy. This question was inspired from watching a Nipsey Hussle interview, and RIP to Nipsey Hussle and his family. But he had talked about things he wanted to accomplish in his lifetime, and not only did he accomplish it, he exceeded those things. Absolutely. So my question to everyone here is, what do you want legacy to be for yourself individually, and then for your businesses also? Like, what legacy you want to leave behind for both of those things?
For me, personally, I just want to be known as a person that was willing to lay it on the line for my people. Whatever, any way I can help, any way I can assist, I want to be known as a person that'll take his shirt off and give it to the next person.
That's good.
Now, business-wise, I want to, the end goal for iLoom Media is to have a creative space where we teach impoverished youth certain crafts, right? So it may be photography, it may be music, it may be painting, it may be anything creative, but I want to have a space where they can come and learn these things, and we don't charge them for it, right? And then when I'm gone, I want my kids to take the reins and do the same thing, right? And hopefully they kids take the reins and do the same thing. But I want to lay that foundation so that when I'm out of here, they got something to be proud of, and they got something that they can pass on.
That's good stuff right there.
Awesome.
I would say legacy for me is just being real, you know, like to the core. Nobody perfect, but real, you know. I also have a business, my business and my brand is Freedom to Speak. And I advocate and I encourage people to be free, to be their true authentic selves, whatever that look like, because your free and my free, it might look different. But at minimum, I believe we should love and respect each other right where we at. And so with that, you know, it just kind of carry over into like a personal and business, like I stand on that, you know. And I got a 13-year-old daughter, and I always bring her up because there's so many lessons that I'm teaching her, you know, like legacy, you know. I think I might have been at the pull-up experience, and I heard him say, what's the legacy if you're not giving them a leg to stand on? You know. And I'm always sewing into them. Like they my first, you know, they say kids, they don't listen to you, but they do everything you do. You know, and so I'm always like trying to set that example for her and showing her, you know, like don't be so quick to, you know what I mean, like waver, and like be solid in who you are as an individual, you know, whether it's personal or business, like just being solid, even if that means you got to be alone. I'm like, stand up for what's right, even if that means you got to stand by yourself. And that's where I'm at, you know. They know. I'll be like, all right, you know. And it's not like you're trying to make enemies or anything like that, or you don't want to have friends, but certain excuse me. Sorry, guys. You know, certain stuff for me is just not compromisable. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not wavering on it, you know. It's not a whole lot of gray area for me in my life. I've been through a lot, you know, and it gave me a lot of black and white. And when it comes to relationship and business and primarily family, you know what I mean? Because they first, God and then my family, it all tie together, and just certain stuff is just not, it's not up for compromise. You know, so just being real and solid, like if you see me over here at Studying with Tasha Event Management, and then over here it's Freedom to Speak, and then over here it's like, hey, that's Tasha, it's all the same person. You know what I mean? Like it's just all the same, and just being real across the board.
That's good stuff.
Thank you, Tasha.
Thank you, Tasha.
That phone team kick it in.
I'm over here like, I gotta wrap this thing up before I get a little too.
I don't want that baby down.
I just look at the cup. I'm like, hold on.
Like cat about to go to the back. I be having my goddamn, excuse me. I be having my response, and then Tasha be like, 2 more minutes. And I'm like, damn, I forgot.
What was he talking about?
I'm like, did I say that out loud?
Don't read no more.
What's this in my head?
I got 14%, ain't no joke.
Hey,
It's like a sneak up on you.
Crack a window.
Shout out to 14. Shout out to 1 phone. My posture started changing.
I'm over here like,
This is like us after work too, though. Like, we done had that long work. Man, we done did Houston, we did Atlanta. We did Cleveland. Now we this week we in Dallas.
Okay.
Man,
Y'all be kicking
we
it
vibing. What's the work down, man? You know what I'm saying?
The work scene.
Lobster mac and cheese and everything. 14%. Plus 14.
Like, how long is it to her party so I can go eat?
She ready to go. She's like, what time is it? We got to
Get back to you, bro. Legacy. Just leaving something here bigger than what I came in with. You know, if we was able to, you know, get more degrees and then get a couple dollars, insurance policies. I mean, the information out there, y'all. Self-banking. Trust.
Yeah.
It's out here.
Yeah.
So now, we're off. Come on. So the information is out here for us to grasp. Now is for us to take a step towards that information. You know, we got people like that's my bro, Larice Purnell, that pushes financial literacy.
Shout out Larice, man.
Yeah, shout out to Larice, man. But not only being an example to me, I started volunteering with Larice, man, and I used to be, all I knew was hustlers and ball players. That's all I knew. So I started putting the bow ties on with them, going to get some blazers from K&G and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was kind of corny.
Right.
But I knew it was necessary because I didn't want to go to the feds like my peoples. Feel what I'm saying? I had to make a transition because I wasn't making no money then.
Yeah.
So I need to get around some people that I need to be like in order to make this full transition. Start working on myself. Personal development is everything. You probably won't catch me. I got a journal in my car right now. I got a book in my car right now. The 2-Day CEO. Just dropped a dime on y'all.
Is it audible? Because I listen to audio.
I don't know if it's audio. I'm an audio head.
Oh, I'm an audio head. Ooh, I love audio. Changed my life.
But you know what I'm saying? Just
kicking in. Wrap it up.
just really back to the legacy part though. But definitely personal development is everything. Work on yourself, because when you work on yourself, you preparing yourself for that breakthrough. See, those lottery winners didn't prepare themselves. They was living their life, going to the factory, whatever. See, when you're working on yourself, you can prepare for that million. And it's nothing. That's not nothing. That's not nothing. You know how to control yourself. You have posture. You walk in there, you know what I'm saying, chest up, and you know how to move around other millionaires because you worked on yourself. All right? So personal development is everything. Back to legacy. Legacy, man, my kids go to the bank with me. They know about group homes. They know about giving back. They know daddy cut checks. And the biggest thing that I would like for them to understand is, or the community to understand is, sowing a seed and back into other people. I've saw the results of that because I saw the analytical process. So I give scholarships back to kids coming out of Cleveland, $2,000, $1,000 a piece. I just gave back another scholarship. So just as much as I kick it with my team and have fun, I give back to them babies. Because I walked away. I went to college and I didn't have nobody sowing a seed back then. We had guys come out to the NFL and all that. We talking about a small seed community. If I had to tell y'all anything about our legacy, y'all, we can preach leverage. We're not asking you for $5,000 or $10,000 from any of these entrepreneurs in here, but if we gave $250 a piece, now we winning.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? It's all about the power of leverage to me, and that's one of the biggest things I learned from Larice, man. He'll put together one of those grocery store things, and if you get $500 from 20 of his people, we winning. We winning together. Now we serving the community. It ain't nothing to us. That's, flight money, whatever, whatever you want to say it is, whatever. And now, you know what I'm saying, we in position to help our community because of the leverage that we provided. So if you are crabbing the barrel, don't come nowhere near us and a pull-up experience because we trying to get to it.
That's facts.
And we can only get to it. We can only give so much, y'all, but guess what? We can give that minimum because we doing it in numbers. We doing it in numbers. We 250 strong, we 350, 5,000 strong, and the power of leverage is everything. And we can do it annually, every single day. We can create the project that we trying to start. If the proposition is right and everything is right. So it's all about leverage to me, man. That's why I talk about sponsorships. That's why I talk about giving back, because leverage. And that's what I want my legacy to be, man. Like
that's a great legacy right there.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
See, y'all remember that. I won't text you later about that later on.
Nah, you done got it. I was wondering.
What you got for us, Laura?
Let's see. I'm the last one, so let's see. You said legacy for personal and for business. When Tasha told me that she was managing Mr. Group Homes, my heart was full. So, like I said, my sister has cerebral palsy and my son has autism. And I'm going to inherit a house one day. And I was telling her, I was like, I'm going to turn that home, my mom's house, into group homes in Maple Heights because I don't plan on doing nothing with it. My biggest fear as a mom with a black son is, of course, untimely death for him. And then you add on top of autism, the odds are stacked against him. So for personally, it's very selfish. I can't have that for my child. I don't know if I'm going to be here next week or 50 years from now, but I need my son to be in a secure space. And I know a lot of other women of color who I've linked with who don't know where their child is going to be either once they're gone. So my personal legacy is to ensure that my son and other children that mimic the things that he needs has somewhere safe to be, where they don't have to worry about someone taking their money or them walking down the street and they're shot down because they don't have the verbal skills to explain what's going on. Because that's my biggest fear. Let's see, business speaking, nursing side, just to drop some statistics, black men are rated to be dead at 69. Black women are the number one population who die in the maternity ward after they give birth. Black men are the number one population who are dying from suicide now. So that's a problem for me. When I say that I love the lower social and economic community, I mean that. So my goal has always to be that when I get to a financial status, that I want to ensure programs like I want to take 90 men and then give them free therapy for 90 days. I want to take women who don't understand what it means to be holistic and have home births and find midwives and black doctors who can feed into them giving birth, things like that. So that's my goal. My goal is to take holistic nursing and to distribute it throughout the nation and not just Cleveland, Ohio, because it's really a national problem going on as far as African American healthcare and disparities going on in our community.
That's a good one right there.
Nice. And I do want to point to you that, and Tasha was able to meet this young lady. Shout out to Selena Miller. She has a group called Mother to Mother.
Oh yeah.
And she, this group of mothers have kids that's in the spectrum of special needs, and they go out and they do activities together. They do. You remember me, Selena, over at Miss Irene Jones. Shout out to Josiah's house. Shout out to Josiah's house.
I think my mom knows her too.
Oh yeah. So I think it's a great group that not only provides activities for the boys and the young ladies, but support. You got to be around the people that you would like to aspire to be like.
That's good.
So when you say that you're scared about housing and stuff, my job is to hold the group home owner accountable for the position that you're in to make these decisions for your child and your child. Whether you dropping in or he's full-time with you guys, it needs to be an accountability piece that's way deeper than the state. Say, hey, you have my sister's child inside this house. Do better, hire better. You see what I'm saying? It's accountability piece. We're not talking about paper, we're talking about accountability to hold everybody accountable inside these group homes. So I volunteer with Ohio Recovery Housing, and I go check the dwellings of these houses and stuff like that. Mouse traps all over the place and stuff like that. I'm not passing this house. I'm not staying in no house that I wouldn't want to live in myself. I don't care about that paper because it's deeper than that, y'all. I know my uncle and them who had opioid addiction and stuff like that. So we ain't about to do that. So, I don't go too deep on that on my page like that. I show people, you can put this bed right here. But you know what I'm saying? It's an accountability thing that, when you come around the training and come around family, the expectations that you have for. And I'm not scared to let y'all kids go out there, but they don't have to be scared if you know that these guidelines exist. And I'm not a caseworker that's sitting here at an office and I got 50 people that I'm managing and stuff like that. But I really care about y'all. y'all kids. You know what I'm saying? And we provide them with the right resources and the right people to put them in place. You know, job placement and things of that nature. Activities that they can, healthy activities. They can go on dates and
Yes.
a night to shine. I like a night to
My
shine.
sister just did that. She looked so good in her little. It's like a prom.
Yeah,
She
man.
looked so good.
And that's why I tell people, I mean, I'm in this field for real, man. I don't like play with this stuff. I can't just drop this stuff out of my.
Give them a life.
yes.
Because they're special
It's
needs. They don't get a
community
life.
integration is a must, man. So I remember. I'm sorry for getting off the subject, y'all, but I'm just thinking about
14%.
my people, man.
Yeah, you good.
Whole team.
14.
Do your thing, 21. And so I think about I was on a plane one time. I think we was on the way to training, and I was watching something about Mary, and the verbiage in there is crazy,
Oh, it's crazy.
man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That was
You know, just how they even say, you know, they took the MR out of DD, and it's just developmental disability, and they call it. We used to say it's acting retarded, right?
Yeah.
And the verbiage in there is just crazy, and just to know that was so many, just a few years ago, man.
Just a
We
few
still
years
ago.
have to continue to be advocates about this particular community, not only the group home community, because group home community 12 plus different categories. But we're talking about being advocates for the special needs community, man. It's a continuing process, man. Shout out to Advancement Centers for Children.
Yeah.
They do a great job, and shout out to everybody that's a caretaker doing what they supposed to do, and not just collecting a check.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No, you good. Yeah.
Yes.
I know this is the special occasion to have 4 entrepreneurs all at the same time, so I want to thank y'all for coming on. And we got scheduled off individually because I want to get the backstory behind y'all stories too, because y'all have so rich stories. I'm pretty sure our audience will appreciate. So we definitely got to have y'all come back. You know what I'm saying? And I did wanted to ask y'all: is there words of wisdom y'all want to leave our entrepreneurs before we, you know what I'm saying, before we cut out?
Mine's is real short and sweet, man. Keep going. Keep going. I don't care how hard it get, how tough it get. Keep going.
That's good.
That is good. And I would say, stand for something, or you're going to fall for anything. I like that.
Out of here, sister soldier.
Very
That's my
fast.
baby right here, man.
The great Les Brown says that if you fall on your back, make sure. If you fall, make sure you fall on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up.
Talk to him.
Let me so let's round. I say this during my class all the time. Fake it till you make it. You don't always have to have all your ducks in a row. But if you keep pretending and acting like you know what's going on, one day you're going to adopt all those same qualities that you keep mimicking. Just keep going into the same direction that you want to see yourself in.
I'm sorry, I got one more. I apologize.
Do your thing.
Whole team.
21, go ahead.
Whole team, 21.
Management record.
Get started. Get started. Get excited and don't quit.
Yeah, that's good.
Sir.
Get started. Get excited and don't quit. Thank y'all.
Another title.
All of it is very essential.
Wait, look, I'm like Duane. I got one more.
All right, 21.
No, this is serious. So, my godmom, shout out to her, Ariel Johnson, love her to death. She told me this in relationship, but I carry it in business as well. And she said, you might not know everything you want, but you better know what you don't want.
That's real.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I
Not
ain't gonna
judge
lie.
yourself.
That's a good one.
I said it all the time. You know, like,
What's up? We're on a new bottle, y'all.
That 14. I ain't gonna lie, that 14.
Right.
I think I felt a drip going down the middle of my back.
I had one right here. I'm like, I gotta go.
Eyes
I
getting
gotta
hot.
film a podcast, bro.
oh my God. You're going to be late to the movie. We tardy for the movie.
Man, I didn't plan on it, but you know, this one a little, you know, hey, but whatever.
So just real quick, so where can everybody reach y'all at? So anyone want to get in touch with y'all, where I can get in touch with y'all?
If you need any visual needs, you can reach me at, what is it? iLoom.
Two you wise them again.
This is the 14. It's iLoom_media. iLoom_media.
Okay.
Or you can just call me.
Or just get her. Yeah,
Okay.
Don't even reach out.
If you want to contact me, just send me a DM. 31 Tasha Event Management. I will give y'all, you know, I have an email address. It's really long. Don't judge me, y'all. I was really excited about the business when I made the email. The email address is 31 Tasha Event and Management Co.
Way too much, man.
So
When you send me that, I'm like, what the?
That's a lot.
I'll be looking at it when I
One character is over.
Yeah, you
again.
Who did this? Yeah.
Return to sender.
Yes, return to sender.
Nobody remember that.
Get the contract unloaded.
They can do it when they be like, click the link below. They gonna drop it on the screen.
Yes.
It's gonna pop
If
up.
you
It's gonna
can,
be
click the link on my bio. You can reach all
It's gonna be right here.
Yes.
But you know, if in the show notes, guys, say I'm gonna go look for it. It'll be right there. So I got y'all.
Exactly.
Hey, myself at Mr. Group Homes, MR Group Homes. That's Instagram. You can catch me out. Also, catch me out. You can catch me Griffin Care LLC, also at Sober University. So Mr. Group Homes at gmail.com. Office number 216-232-3419. I take a voicemail. I return it. I'm a real guy. Let's get it.
That's what's up.
Good job. I'm a real guy.
Appreciate that. Well, I'm Train Ari Strong on all platforms, but IG is my main platform. So it's train_REARI_strong. And follow me on YouTube as well. I do lives every Wednesday. So if you want to work out and you're too scared to come to me, which is fine, Wednesday at 7 p.m. you can follow me online on YouTube.
Them step classes be serious. I ain't gonna lie.
You gonna get your life back,
I'm
baby.
sorry. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Everybody want a nice body until it's trying to get it.
It's time to get it.
I'm like, is it necessary to build your calves this long?
Come on.
I'll be like, have mercy.
Man.
But I want to thank y'all for coming on. This has been a great episode. We got a chance to hear y'all great stories and get some great gems. I'll be out blazing with no bucket pen. You know what I'm saying?
Watch the episode on it.
You watch it, rewind it, do what you need to do. But we want to thank y'all for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, it's fun.
We have to buy him one of those.
No, we don't.
Imagine just walking around with it every time somebody says something like,
I'll be walking through Walmart, man. What you just say? You gotta get up and get out and do something. He's just a lazy ass, man.
y'all can drink y'all second glasses already.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Too wise, man. Too wise.
Time for the party.
It's not good. I gotta go to work, and then I gotta come party. I'm about to go get the tables now. I'm gonna drop them off, and then I'm gonna go film my
You got the tables. Ain't nobody
and
gonna
then
be
I'll be there.
Oh, you working.
Get his tables to.
No, give them to me.
Give them to Duane.
Get my breaks done.
Duane don't want to take the tables. I don't want to take the
What
tables.
are y'all talking about, 21?
They gonna be eating on the floor like a picnic.
Nobody wants to take the tables.
Y'all know
Come
I
over here.
Episode 142, y'all. We still rolling. That's good.